And the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame has inducted ex-Lions defensive vet Robert Porcher and former Michigan State running back T.J. Duckett, among others, at the Ryder Cup. It's all Europe. They are blitzing Team USA, leading 8-4, entering today's afternoon foursomes. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 971theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. Alongside of me, co-host Becky Alley.
Good morning, everybody.
Ooh, that's a lot of energy. I love it. Becky Alley, of course, always a mortgage aficionado, of course, brings in Michelle Sayward from eXp Realty. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Good. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great. You guys bring it bright and cheery here like the sun is shining outside. This is what I feel. You know, I woke up, man, I wasn't really into it. Now I'm into it. Good job, Beck.
I'm into it. And let's give Michelle a formal introduction. So she is killing it. If you don't know her name, you need to know her name. I mean this in the best way. You might have been living under a rock. She is literally killing it in real estate. She's one of the biggest names out there right now, especially downriver, and she needs to be recognized for all of her successes. And she's just out there. She just switched to EXP. Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
All right, Michelle.
Thank you.
Hey, Michelle, yeah, not only are you, the queen of Trenton, Riverview, Groseal, Woodhaven, and all those other cities around, but the 5 counties. You guys, your team works the 5 counties hard. And tell us a little bit about your new adventure with eXp Realty. You're off and running. We're starting to hear all about this eXp Realty stuff.
Yeah, thank you for asking me that. I appreciate it. Yes, eXp is the Amazon of shopping. It is the Netflix taking over Blockbuster.
Oh, curse you, Amazon Prime.
Oh, for sure it is. For sure it is. This is the disruptor in the real estate market right now.
Ooh.
No, it's pretty exciting
For a good
stuff.
thing.
It is. It's a fantastic thing. And it's not brand spanking new. It's been around since 2009. And we just became a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ this year, 2018.
Okay.
So ticker's EXPI. Check it out.
Right, yeah.
It's on a rapid takeoff. It's a really upward trending hockey stick portion of growth, this company right now.
Good.
And it is created by a technology sort of nerd. His name's Glenn Sanford. He was one of the first people doing internet marketing and lead generation back in like 2002. He was in connection with the Z, as we say here at one point.
Right.
Okay.
And he separated from and saw where the market was trending and going. And he created this disruptor in the market called eXp Realty. So what separates it is it's a cloud-based company.
Okay.
Meaning, which all of us are doing now. You guys are doing it here at Capital Mortgage, where you have access to technology right at the palm of your hand.
Technology is everything. Like, literally, you have to be able to adapt to. You have people that don't even want to have face-to-face conversations. They only want to be on their phone all the time. And you got to be able to adapt and adjust to that. And at the same time, you're in the same position where you're turning towards that technology, but you're also that in-your-face realtor that they can literally go to your office, sit in front of you, as I just saw you yesterday. Literally, she's in there eating, and then literally she's walking out, and she's walking right in, like, just got done eating. Hey, Becky, how are you doing? And going into a listing appointment. I mean, and that's how you have to be. You have to adapt to your situations and the market.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Let's tell us a little bit about those differences. Again, let me throw this out there. We're taking calls all morning long. This is a great show this morning. 248-539-9797. Michelle can talk all about buying and selling and what's going on. Yeah. As we move into we're definitely into the fall season now, moving into the winter of 2018, and then sort of segueing into 2019. What can we expect moving forward? We've got these changes. We've got these new offices, these new concepts popping up. But Michelle, one of the things I talked to you about on Thursday was sort of the old-fashioned way, too. At the end of the day, whether you don't have a brick and mortar building, whether you do or you don't, at the end of the day, you're getting in the car and you're showing families homes that are going to be, these are their lifelong dreams. This is what their motivation is.
Their biggest investment that some of these people will ever make in their entire lives. And you're a part of that. It's a special thing.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. And I've listened to several of your shows, and I'm so on par with both of you guys, Harvey, Becky. We're all seeing eye to eye on this. eXp is a cloud-based company, meaning for the back office systems, everything is online. So it makes it really mobile friendly as a real estate agent out in the field showing property, looking online, finding information you need, connecting with other agents in real time to get answers if you don't have those answers when you're on spot. Hey, what's a land contract or interest rate going for nowadays? Like these are real live questions that don't come up every day, and it's right there at the tip of your fingers. Or You also have like training and support online. So it's just a bigger thing, and it helps narrow it down for the end user. So it's a greater service and value to the buyer because we have these tools to give answers. And I'm going to probably go off on a tangent, but I guess that's what we do in conversation.
Get fired up.
Because I really can go. Is that I think what we were talking about before the show even is that divide between what you're finding just online and the real life human conversations that need to be had.
Right.
This is where sort of like East meets West. You know what I mean? This is where EXP has found the middle ground.
Okay.
So you've got great access to technology, but then we're also keeping it, face-to-face conversation. I think the reason a lot of buyers get so frustrated in the market right now is because there's so much information online and they think that they can click here, and they found the house themselves.
Right. Okay.
And then
those houses are always gone. The one they love and the one that they found last night, that one's gone.
Correct.
But the next one coming up, you got to be able to be ready for the next one.
They're gone. They're frustrated with the process because they were a little bit late to the party. And when you talk to a real estate agent, they're ahead of the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are many properties that may be off market. There are many properties that, you're thinking it looks fantastic online, and there's no smell-o-vision online.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yes.
All right, let me do a
Really
recap here. All right, 248-539-9797. We're going to be talking all mortgages and real estate. I'm Harvey Free. Becky Alley and I will cover the mortgage end. Michelle Sayward, EXP Realty, will cover all your buying and selling questions. There's definitely some trends that happen here in Michigan. I would say the last 3 or 4 years, it was just gangbusters back. There was no buying and selling season. It went 24/7.
24/7.
And this Michelle's new office and what she's got going on, this new concept, it seems as if it would really helped over the last year or two because multiple bids, you got to get that purchase agreement in, you've got to have the documents signed and ready to go and get those into the listing agent and start competing for that best and highest offer to get that house you want.
Right, exactly. And then to piggyback what you're saying, like just like our loan, no loan is the same. Every situation is completely different. And what you were saying is, well, what do you do about a land contract and what's the interest rate? It's comforting to hear that. Even though you guys are, it's different it's different in the same, but you guys are also dealing with that. Every situation is not the same, and you need to be able to have access to the answers. And one of the biggest mistakes that I think, not even just first-time home buyers or even home buyers, like you're saying, is they don't seek the professional help.
Correct.
They think that because their father bought a house in 1988 and he went under asking that's what you're going to do now, and it's not like that at all.
Not at all.
You need to be with the right people, and it's not. We're going to just pick a price point out of the sky. You need to get pre-approved first.
Yeah.
So that way, when you are getting with Michelle, we know what we're dealing with as far as taxes, insurance. Are you looking for a condo? Because that's huge because you're not factoring in those association dues, and that could take you from a $150,000 pre-approval to a $130,000. So seek the professional help with us, with Michelle, and let's get you in the right positions because obviously we have the experience, and you can't put a price on that. More importantly, and then the fact that we also have that technology, and you're going to get that one-on-one, face-to-face. You're going to call my phone. You're going to talk to me. You're going to talk to Harvey, and you're definitely going to talk to Michelle.
And quickly, you're not going to get run around talking to 4 or 5 different people, though. Make it really easy.
That's right.
Michelle, let's talk about that a little bit. Buying homes, I know the asking price, we still see in these hot areas that homes are going over asking. But this is, and we had different agents over the last couple of years talk about these price points and what's going on in the marketplace. But definitely in the hot markets, you have to be prepared, and you have to understand the different language on the purchase agreement, how you might obtain a house when there's a bidding war.
Yes. Yeah, and you have to be creative in how you're going to structure that. But what we're experiencing right now is there's a huge divide between properties that are white hot and selling wicked fast and those that are just sitting stagnant. And it can be a minor adjustment in what needs to be done in terms of the saleability of your home to be in that white hot category.
All right.
We're also starting to see right now here, oh my gosh, it's going to be October really soon.
I know.
September literally lasted 2 hours.
I swear to God.
It was like 2 hours.
That's funny.
It did. And we're starting to see that, homes are staying on the market just a little while longer right now.
Okay. Yeah, I've noticed. Yeah.
So those buyers that were so frustrated and aggravated with the spring-summer market, this is their chance. Like now. They're going to have a little bit more flexibility. You're going to have a little bit less competition
right now. A little bit more power. Yep.
Yeah, stronger buy power. Exactly. So, and
what do you say to like the houses that are sitting longer, like that listing that's been sitting like, as far as like when you have your listing and you feel like it's sitting there too long, like what are you going to be doing to get them to just get it off that market? Yeah. We can talk about it when we come back.
I'll tell you what, let's do that. The music says we're up against our first break. We want to hear from you. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call at the office, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always here in the studio, 248-539-9797, 917. It's pretty outside, going to go up to about 63 today. And again, a lot of great football around. We got Lee Ehlers in here. Lee's so great to have in here. If you've got a question about buying or selling, Lee's got a great angle for you and definitely show you ways to get your offer accepted and make that offer stand out. Hey, let's move on to Dave out there in Keego Harbor, sort of my backyard. Good morning, Dave. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing today?
Good. What's happening?
Not much, man. I had called like 3 months ago. I called the office. I think I spoke to Lisa is her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to her to get him. You know, because I don't know nothing about the process. So the reason I called you guys was I don't want to get somebody to take me to the cleaners. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you called the right place. Lisa's great, too.
You're a smart man.
Okay, so I was making a certain amount of money, but she couldn't. My credit score was great and everything, but she couldn't get me a mortgage because of what I was making. So I bought into the place that I was working at, and now I'm making like 40% more than what I was making. So I'm wondering, how long do I have to wait before I can get a mortgage?
So is it a salaried position? You're making more money on a salary, or is it hourly, or are you a commission person? It's a salary. So we can show that in the last 6 months you got a raise to what you're making now, correct?
No, I just got it like a month ago. So I got to wait like 6 months is what you're telling me?
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Do you have your last two pay stubs probably show your new income, correct?
Well, it will. One will, and then another one will, yeah.
You're ready to go, Dave. We could use the new income to qualify you. Yeah, if your credit's good and you've gotten a salary raise,
phenomenal.
Yeah, you're ready to go.
She wanted to get me a mortgage so bad, she just couldn't do it.
Well, she's going to hear from me.
She's going to work hard at trying. Now, are you an owner, or did you just buy in? What percentage do you own of that company?
25%.
It could get a little. It could get a little stickier. It can definitely get a little stickier because now you own 25% of the company. Let's do this. We'll definitely get Lisa involved, and I'm going to call her after the show and get you guys in touch with each other. Let's see what you got going.
Yeah, we'll get the updated information. So we have to update your file, take a look at it, add the additional income, then get a little bit more information from you.
97.1 The Ticket's Jamie and Stoney want to give you the ultimate Red Wings experience on opening night. Listen this week and you can win a pair of tickets, a Zamboni ride, a visit to the broadcast booth, a Red Wings sweater, dinner at one of the LCA restaurants or clubs, and VIP access to the red carpet walk. The Red Wings home opener is Thursday against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Puck drops at 7:30. Guarantee your seat. Great seats are available right now for the home opener and all Red Wings games at DetroitRedWings.com.
Your sports therapy session. 97.1 The Ticket.
All righty, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, that music fired me up.
It's a really great morning here. A little cooler outside, but sunny all day today, maybe going up to 62. Get out there and enjoy the day. Definitely heating up a little bit later in the week, but this is fall weather here in Michigan. We got
Today's my grandma's little birthday party.
Oh, there you go. We got grandma's birthday. We got Michigan State football at noon. We got Michigan football a little bit later with Northwestern, and that's going to be on the AM side of the radio. But keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Sports up until the Tiger game, and we're narrowing in on our last few Tiger games. So definitely.
Oh, those Tigers.
If you want to talk mortgages and real estate, you got the right show. 917-248-5399-9797. We bring Michelle Sayward in from eXp Realty. We got lots to talk about, Michelle. I guess we go right into what you had because your stuff's really interesting about the questions and answers that we were just talking about. I threw it out to you and I said, we're always, as you go out there and you're working with buyers, you're sort of adjusting that needs and wants list. And it's constant communication. Yeah. Explain more. I like how you said it.
No, we were just wrapping a little bit here on the break, and I was just saying that that you've got a really good professional and a salesperson, which is not a bad word, a salesperson. You want a salesperson in this transaction when they're asking a lot of questions. So you talk to myself as a real estate professional, you talk to Becky here at Capital Mortgage or any of the great loan officers here at Capital Mortgage.
Thank you. We'll throw that out.
If they're asking, yeah, that's right. Full attention. She's paying attention now. When you meet with a great professional, they're asking you a lot of questions. So they're from the point of what do you want in a home, all the way through the pre-approval process, where Becky's asking you a lot of questions about your history and your finances.
Very invasive, everybody. It's fine though, but we'll get through it.
Yeah, but let it out. Let it out. I mean, even in making an offer, a real estate agent should be asking you what's of value to you. Where do you want to, how do you want to spend your money?
Right.
And connecting back with the mortgage company about what the options are. I mean, when it even comes down to negotiation, they should be asking you questions about how you want your hand played, not necessarily dictating and telling you this is how it's supposed to be done. This is your decision. It's your money. It's a big decision.
Right.
You're not buying a pair of gym shoes, for crying out loud. You're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars oftentimes, for something you're going to live in.
Yeah.
Right. To be there for like 15 years. And, it's like you said, adjusting it, finding out what is their points, what is their I can't live without, and what can you live without. And at the same time, making those adjustments, but then also bringing it all together where the realtor, the loan officer, and the buyers were all working together. Because sometimes, on our side of things, I don't have enough down payment. I need to wait and I need to save this because I don't want a PMI. And that's not actually always true. You don't have to put 20% down to get rid of PMI. And at the same time, it also might even be doing yourself a disservice because you're literally stressing yourself out to save up $20,000. It's literally going to wipe you out. So then if something happens to this house where the furnace goes out or whatever, plumbing, you're literally going to be capped out and you don't have anything to fall back on. So sometimes that 20% to get rid of the PMI isn't always the best way. And that's where we all come in together to make sure that we're setting you guys up for success from start to finish.
Yeah, signs continue to point towards an ever-changing market. And again, there's going to be new changes next spring too. But with those changes, you're always asking different questions, adjusting your expectations and your needs and wants list. Is it the location that's the most important, the school district, the size of the house? A ranch is a must. Do you need a bigger house for the family? Do you need a community? There's so many different things that go on in a transaction. Hey, we got breaking news, too, which is really cool. Breaking news in the mortgage industry doesn't happen often.
Off the press.
Yeah, this is hot off the press. Beck, did you see it? The Step Forward program.
I got it, too, yeah.
So we're just going to throw it out there and tease it a little bit. It's coming up next month. Oh, actually, October 8th. The Down Payment Assistance Program through the state of Michigan, MSHDA. It's basically a MSHDA loan. Beck, are you telling me they were going to give $15,000 if you qualify for a MSHDA loan and you haven't applied already for one? You are going to be able to get your hands on $15,000 through the state of Michigan. It's a $20 million grant through the federal government. Yeah. This is unbelievable stuff here.
It's huge, but
it's also
first come, first serve. So you're talking literally just over 1,300 people are going to be able to cash in on this. And it's the $15,000. So you still get your $7,500 down payment, but that $15,000 can go towards buying down that first mortgage, and it's forgivable and all that stuff. But it's first come, first serve. So if you are in the process of a Mijda loan, but you're not in underwriting at this point, you can go back and get into this, first come, first serve step. It's called the Step Forward program. It's great. It's huge, but literally only 1,333 people are going to be taking advantage of this $20 million, $15,000 each, and you have to take it off.
Right, and basically what the government did along with the state of Michigan is they targeted some areas, and there's quite a few of them, so it's pretty cool. There's some it's all about the zip codes.
Yes.
Just to give you guys an idea, in Macomb, there's some zip codes in Centerline, East Point, New Haven, Roseville, Warren, and in Detroit, there's several zip codes in Southgate and Taylor and Wayne and Wyandotte.
Our hometown Lincoln Park's in there, I think.
Milan, Michigan.
Right.
Milan's a cool little town, too. Ypsilanti's in there, Lansing. So there's lots of areas across Michigan for newer buyers here if you qualify for the Mijda program. Definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker, 1-800-569-7283. Get the approval. Find out if you qualify for this great new program. So it's pretty cool.
Sure. Yeah, give us a call. It's literally you either cookie cutter. You either fit in this box or you do not. So we got to start with us. We'll figure it out and make sure we're going to set you up for success with that.
Becky, you said it sounds like a sense of urgency. How many individuals?
1,333.
In all of Metro Detroit with these zip codes. Like,
yes.
This is a kind of a call now situation. So this really would be hot off the press.
If you didn't buy a house in the rush of this last year, the last 4 years, great. Here's another opportunity to take a look. Now, again, you might not fit into the program. You might not fit into one of these cities where it's available. But if you do, bingo, you just scored big time because it's a forgivable loan.
Yes.
And the greatest thing about it is you're a homeowner. And again, we can keep that cost down. Again, you mentioned using the money for down payment, closing costs, or even buying the loan amount down. So there's a lot of things you can do there.
It's really huge, especially when we were just talking about stressing out about your down payment and all those things. It's definitely something worth looking into. Give us a call. We'll see if you fit in there, and let's get you into a house.
This money might change the wants and needs list from a buyer if they're really.
It would change mine.
It really does.
It would change mine.
It really does. You know what it does?
Money talks.
You look at that house and it might have the older furnace on it. It's still in functioning. It could last you another 3 to 5 years. The roof looks good. But again, you have that scare. But you're able to get your hands on $15,000.
It's a game changer.
That's money that you're keeping in your pocket when you want to
paint,
do it.
that's
everything.
Bathroom upgrade.
Not to mention, if you gave us a phone call and you didn't fit the exact program, fine. Then we'll put you into an FHA 203K loan. So again, this hopefully will get more of you buyers out there. If you're just tuning in, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We're here to help you get a house and become a homeowner. Is real key here. 248-539-9797.
We're going to teach you our ways.
Teach you the whole thing about it here.
Teach you our ways.
Hey, again, we talked about many homes that were being sold over asking price. We're definitely seeing a shift in the market. But those are the starter homes. That's the 950 square foot home or whatever, 800 square foot home to 1,300 square foot homes. These are great values. You see them. I see, really all the agents in the downriver area, they work them. These are the homes that are either the starter or sometimes people are downsizing a little bit. They're all 3-bedroom brick ranches. Well, they're not all, but generally 3-bedroom brick ranches with basements and little patios out back. Housing can be extremely affordable. And if you look at a house like this, they're not extremely expensive. The upkeep on them is not really expensive.
Right. No, absolutely. And I mean, talking about downriver really is very affordable. I mean, overall, when you're looking at the 5 counties, there's
what you get for your money is compared to Royal Oak or Oakland County in general, it's totally different.
Michigan's affordable. I mean, we really live in a great state. We don't have the crazy intangible tax they have down in Florida. Our cost to get a mortgage is really inexpensive. Home ownership here with our property taxes and the great schools, museums that we have, libraries. We have so much going for us here. And I love you just being a proponent of, people staying home, where they're from, learning, building those communities. And we have seen that. We've seen it with a lot of the community, including Brownstown. It's like it's gone up. Now it's headed, it's trending upward again, where you're seeing new constructions back and a lot of families are starting to move back.
Yeah. I mean, that's a typical move. So if there's, if people are like, I don't know, Detroit, Dearborn, a lot of them end up moving west. If people are downriver, they're like Southgate, Lincoln Park, they're moving even further south. And then a lot of times for affordability reasons, I'm into also northern Monroe County. The taxes are so much lower in Monroe County.
I was going to say the taxes are night and day.
So then your mortgage value can go up because you're paying less in taxes. So this is just like a whole nother way of opening up options for buyers. And what's
all right, we're just tapping into the show here. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, 248-539-9797. We come back, all of your calls.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse-Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Have a pretty day outside. Get out there and enjoy. 248-539-9797. It's a Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Fund. And give us a call all week long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. The differences are astronomical. You're going to save a ton of money, deal with real professionals, and get educated on the process. Again, the clients that know what they're doing are having unbelievably great experiences. And the clients that are trying to punch in things over the phone and talk to 20 different people, those are not working out. Lee's a professional real estate agent. Lee Ehlers is in with us. He'll tell you more about it. And first, we'll go to Dan out there in Dearborn Heights. Good morning, Dan. You got a question about a mortgage. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, how you guys doing this morning?
Real good. Thanks for the call.
Good. Yeah, in 2000, I bought my house in 2005. I'm in Dearborn Heights, like right on the border of Redford.
Yep.
And I'm at the point in my life for me and my wife where we want to sell it, but I don't think it's worth what we owe on it. We still owe like $89,000, and the house needs updates. And I'm trying to find out like what's the best way I don't even care if I break even. I just kind of want to get out of this because, like I said, our kids are growing and we just want to downsize, maybe to a townhouse or something and get out of this mortgage, but I'm not sure how to go about it.
Yeah, well, Dan, the first thing you do is you call the show, which is awesome. Second thing you do is we'll talk off the air, and we have some options for you. One of the things we do is usually I can sit down with you and say, hey, your house is worth X right now, and if you do these upgrades, it's going to be here. If you have the money, great. This is what I recommend. If you don't have the money, we have some investors that'll come in, they'll pay cash, and they'll buy it here. And so you have three really great options for you. And then using that barometer, we can get you the next house, then we can get you approved and all that. So that's absolutely doable. It's attainable, and it's pretty easy for you.
Lee, talk about this a little bit because Dan's a great guy here. He's going to, he's done everything right. Of course, he did buy in 05, and then the market crashed on him a little bit. But his area, Dearborn Heights, that Livonia, and the borderlines, those have come back quite a bit, right?
Yeah, it's funny because it's just like when I talk about the subsets with purchase prices. It's the same thing with the area. Everybody says, well, the market as a whole came back this way and this way. No, it didn't. There's certain parts of town that are crazy. Correct. There's certain parts of town that never recovered at all, and nobody's buying there. Good news is Dearborn Heights, Livonia, like you said, all those areas are booming, and because if you want to buy an $85,000 house, it's not happening. You want to buy an $5,000 house there, you can still get in a good area. You can still have a safe part for your family, so it's good. So there are going to be buyers for your house. We just got to find them. We have to go after them, which we'll do. But then we'll have a talk about exactly how you want to go about doing it.
Yeah, hey, Dan, it's a great call. Lee's going to call you right after the show here and see if he can make an appointment to stop by your house. It's all great advice to get started. There's no obligation in it. I think it's a great call. I wish more families would call to get more professional people out there and I think sort of educate you on where your next step is.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of different advice and people telling me what I should do and all that, and and I'm like, well, I listened to your show before, and I'm like, well, I'm going to call you guys. I got disconnected. I'm glad I got back on, though.
Oh, I'm glad you called too.
Thanks for calling.
We'll definitely get Lee to follow up with you this afternoon, and best of luck to you, Dan. We want to hear that you got a new house in a few months.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot for the call. 248-539-9797. Do you want to call in?
Lee, there's a perfect example. Talking in generalities can be dangerous to most people because most people have their own specific concerns. So, when we say an area is hot or values are going up, not necessarily. It doesn't matter what somebody else's property has done.
Check out WeFixMoney.com for more. $1,000 12 times every weekday. Listen for the keyword at 1/2 each hour between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Text that keyword to 72881 before the end of that hour. Message and data rates apply. And you could win a $1,000 signing bonus. 97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 9:30. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I can almost say it. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You can find us there all week long. We bring in Michelle Sayward from eXp Realty this morning to sort of co-host with us. Michelle, you've got tons of energy, great ideas. This is a lot of fun. And I like what we just started talking about is the communication on a real estate transaction. Yeah. You got mortgage people, there's an appraiser out there, there's a title insurance company, there's real estate agents. I can keep going. There's inspectors.
Movers. Yeah.
Movers, you say, what else we got? We got closers, movers, inspections, appraisers.
Contractors after the fact. You bought the house, you need stuff done, lots of things.
So what is it? We pose this question out there to the different generations. Do you want to only be on the internet? Do you not want to talk to people? Or do you want to talk to people? You were just mentioning it's like both.
Yeah, I was just saying that I was talking to my niece, and I said, if you call in the carryout from the Chinese restaurant, I'll pay for it. And she said, I'll go online and order it. And I said, you can't. It's a independently owned mom and pop shop down the street. You're going to have to pick up the phone.
Right, they're not computer experts.
So she wasn't understanding that she couldn't just go online and order from
the Chinese restaurant. You've got to talk to people. And I sat her aside and I said, "Oh my gosh, this is huge. Technology is in your face all the time." And you need to be aware of it, and you need to be hip with it, which is why I'm on board with EXP and this real estate. It's the forefront of technology, and it's everywhere that we're going in this business. But at the same time, people want people, and people need people, and there's going to be, I think, a radical shift in society where there's going to be those that know how to communicate and ask the right questions and talk to humans, and those who don't. And those who don't are just going to go online, get stuck with, what happened to some of my clients just this week, an online lender, totally dissatisfied with the lack of communication, ended up switching over actually to Capital Mortgage.
There you go.
And are really happy with having a human-to-human conversation about what their needs and wants are.
We say that all the time. Coming up on 19 years of doing the show, the clients that sit down and meet with us in person always know more, always have a better experience. They just do.
Yes.
There's a lot you can do. It's funny because you mentioned, well, if the younger generation, if they don't want to talk to people as much, then why are they all shifting to move to these downtown areas where you stumble upon each other? Everyone wants to live in a downtown area where you're conversing and you're hanging out at the coffee shop and you're in these downtown bars, restaurants, nursery schools, dog parks. Which one is it? Do you want to talk to people or don't you?
It's all of that, Harvey, because your nose is buried in front of a computer all day at work, and then when you get home, it's buried into an app on your phone, right?
Yep.
And then you lift your head up and you get your neck massaged, and you
come back to reality for a second.
Yeah, and you realize that sitting here with Becky and Harvey is fun conversation.
It is.
Like way cooler.
It's way better experience.
I think I just thought of the Facebook snorkel. It's because come up for air, right? Your head's down, you can't breathe, your trachea is all closed up.
Which is also why September felt like 2 hours, because everyone's on their phone too much.
Right, it's way too much. All right, we want to hear from you. 248-539-9797. Michelle Sayward in from EXP Realty. A lot of fun.
Killing it in real estate.
Absolutely killing it. But again, it's nice touch though. It's the computer touch. It's the internet. It's the one-on-one contact. What else do you see out there? Building wealth of home ownership. Do you see are the empty nesters now? Are they going to downsize? Because I'm afraid they're looking at the higher rates now. A lot of them refinance with us. We got them all into 15-year mortgages.
Yeah.
The rates are great.
Yeah.
How are we going to get them to downsize and leave that colonial house or even that big ranch? Do they need to? I mean, we want them to free up the house, but where are they going to go?
I'm actually excited for the empty nesters because I've been in this 17 years. And I was witness to those who thought that they were going to be able to retire 10 years ago and downsize 10 years ago. And climbing those stairs in that colonial was really hard work. And
I'm thinking about, I want a ranch because I don't want to climb stairs.
And I'm 40.
I'm younger. Come on, you're in great shape. You can climb stairs.
When you get to 40, we'll worry about
it. But I'm excited that they're actually in a spot now where it's not so downtrodden. They have equity. They can do it. Yes, ranch condos or ranches, period. Those are in high demand. So if you're thinking of selling your home, call Michelle Sayward at EXP Realty.
Put that number up.
734-322-3302. I'll say it one more time.
Yeah. We'll make it even easier for them. They call Capital Mortgage. We hook them up with you. No problem at all. So, anyone with listeners out there, definitely call in, though. We have some open lines this morning. We'd love to hear from you. 248-539-9797. Building wealth is all part of owning a home. It's a great opportunity out there. And again, there was a humongous downfall as the economy and the recession kicked in 2007 to about 2010 or 11 there was really bad. But again, everyone's values, well, not everyone, but just about everyone's value has been heading in the right direction.
It's exciting. People are excited to buy houses again. They're not, not as frightened, not as scared. Right. And even though interest rates have went up maybe about like 1% or, quarter of a percent, whatever, from even beginning of the year, they're still at 40-year lows. They're still so low. So when people are like, oh, well, it was at 3%. Okay, so what? We're never going to see that again in our lifetime. let's take advantage of why they're still in the high 4, low 5s before they do, because they are going to, by 2019, we are going to see buy to the 4s, and it's going to be definitely in the 5s. In my personal opinion, I feel that. But, when the Fed just recently announced the rate hike, that wasn't, 0.25%. It wasn't this, they're not going to see this instant, like, oh my God, these rates are going through the roof. And that was mainly predominantly for home equity lines of credit and ARMs that you're going to see those rates go up. So if you're on an ARM and it's coming up within the next year or so, you want to call us, look to refinance, get out of it. However, if you still have 4 or 5 years left on that ARM, then maybe it's probably not a good time. Ride that out a little bit longer, take advantage of it, because that can happen in 4 or 5 years. So it's just, and then home equity lines of credit, you get a lot of calls right now because people are buying the house. They don't want to liquefy their assets. So they're trying to get that, that extra cash flow where they can remodel that bathroom, kitchen, what have you. And those rates are going to kind of go up a little bit, but it's not going to be where it's going to be detrimental, where you still can't do what you got to do. And we can actually help you with those home equity line of credits as well.
Yep. And of course, home equity top $1 trillion in the U.S. last month. American homeowners are definitely tapping into them, as you mentioned, Beck. The Midwest, we're always spending money here. It's because our 4 seasons. It does cost maybe a little bit more money to maintain a house in the Midwest. You have different seasons. You get the snow shoveling kicks in, and it wears and tear in the snow and the rain. It does wear and tear on our roofs and stuff like that. But it seems like we're, Midwest hardworking people. They're in their backyards anyways, not quite raking up leaves yet, but still doing those outdoor projects. There's a lot of versatility here too. So again, inexpensive to live in Michigan. Keeping your house updated is very key. And you tap into a little bit of that equity. Do those home improvements to keep your house moving in the right direction. You don't want your house to become an eyesore, because one thing leads to another. Again, if you don't take care of whether it be a roof or something else, other things can start, costing you a lot of money. Again, 248-539-9797. We definitely want to hear from you as we talk about all the differences and the great things about home ownership. Again, tax changes last year, $750,000. Again, most of us are borrowing under $750,000, and property taxes are still right off at $10,000. So again, very few of us, well, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. I've had one time in my life, I had taxes over that, but now they do cap them at $10,000. Let's go into a few other great things here. What do you want to talk about real quick? I wanted to talk about you branding you a little bit out there, because we know who you are. But how do I get more and more families from downriver to say, hey, Michelle, I want you to come over and take a look at this house today? And I know you have a couple listings you wanted to talk about also.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I mean, how do you get people off the couch? I mean, I still think we have been, as Becky just touched on, we've been really spoiled with low rates for a long time. And you got to remember, even if it goes to 5%, that's still amazingly good.
Yes.
Like it's,
yes. We got spoiled.
We've been so spoiled for so long, and take advantage, because the time is now.
Right.
Getting people off the couch, Harvey, it's not as frenzied as it was in spring, summer. So if you were fed up then, now is your chance. And there's some homes, as I said, have been on the market a little bit longer. It doesn't mean you can't make an offer.
Right.
So if you're looking at a property that you think is now overpriced, and it's been on the market for more than a week, you're going to have greater flexibility and negotiation on something like that than you would have, with multiple offers first day on the market.
Right.
So this is your chance to get in, and you might be pleasantly surprised with some of the results.
Yeah, and you're seeing, because I kind of look sporadically, you're seeing some houses that have been sitting over 30 days. And then you start thinking, was there something wrong with this house, and yada, yada, yada. But, when you're putting an offer on a house, there's steps that the buyer takes to make sure that you are getting a house that is good structure. So it's part of your inspection period. I don't recommend waiving that. It's an option as the buyer to have a private home inspection that's different from the appraisal. Some people get confused by that. Your private home inspection is important. You're going to have someone, Michelle can get you in contact with some great people that are going to go look in all the nooks and crannies, the attic, make sure the foundation, the basement, the plumbing, all that, and the roofs, windows, and all that's important. So if you do make that offer and you're like, well, what's wrong with it? It's been sitting here for 30 days. And then you find out, well, really, it was sitting here waiting for me at that point.
You know what? I'm going to go a different way with it, too, because it might not be anything wrong with the house. It may have been that the agent put it on the market in the spring, summer, and was projecting future forward about how fast this market is rising and where they're going to go. And they're pricing for the future.
Right. And they have the monopoly for it.
And now we're at end of summer, back to school, fall is coming, winter's coming. We're more like flatline pricing, and we're starting to see prices coming down.
There you go.
Yeah.
And as we move into the winter season, not necessarily a bad thing. You're selling, you're buying, hey, it's all going to shake out in the end.
Right.
But it could have just been improperly priced from the word go. And now here it is for you.
All righty. That music says it's 9:40, and we're coming up against a quick break here. You got to give us a call, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. If you're just tuning in, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show in our 19th year coming up. 248-539-9797. We take all your calls. Always a Capital Mortgage, your 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage bank. And save a ton of money on closing costs, get a low interest rate. How about this? Learn exactly what you're doing so when you show up to the closing this week, you'll know exactly what you're signing. There's so much going on there. It's really fun when you do a closing. The families are showing up, Lee. Of course, it's great for us because we know that this family's getting the keys. They're moving on. We can move on to the next family. But there's a lot of things going on. Of course, the deed is transferred. You're bringing your cash to close. And we talked about that scam out there, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some other things to beware of. But let's go out to some of these calls. We've got Frank in Heartland first. Oh, we go to Nick first. Hey, hang in there, Frank. Hey, Nick in Monroe. What's going on?
Hey, I just had a quick question. My fiance and I are getting married in December.
Congrats.
And our lease expires next August. I was wondering when the right time to hook up with an agent was to start looking into the housing market.
Well, Lee, you want to go with that?
Yeah. So basically, it's like the last guy we talked to, where there's no time that's too early is not a thing. It doesn't exist, because even if it's like for sure you're locked in, you can't buy out of your lease, blah blah. We can start having a plan. We can start educating you, start connecting you to people. If you need to build your credit up, if you need to save up some money, I mean, now is a great time, and everything's free for sure. So let's talk, and we can kind of develop the best game plan for you.
Yeah, Lee, you said Nick, you said your lease is up next August, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that puts you sort of at the June, May, right in the heart of home buying season, where you're up against, those 40 or 50 other buyers out there. So on each house, that's nice, and that you guys are going to want. So I like that idea. At least start building your team now. Maybe even go out there and get a taste of what the market looks like now, so that you're a little bit closer to being prepared. And I think it's a great call, Nick.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll follow up with you. Lee, you said something that really caught my attention was, because if you're 720 credit, you can make your credit score 760 and above. You can fix your own credit. Give yourself a few months just by doing a few things. Maybe lowering your balances on your credit cards, maybe shifting some of the debt into one credit card and changing your balances on others.
Maybe continuing to make your payments on time.
That would be the best scenario.
I don't know.
Well,
Heart Check.
97.1 The Ticket and CBS Sports Radio 1270. Your homes for the NFL on Westwood One. The Denver Broncos host the Kansas City Chiefs. Monday Night Football. Pre-game at 7:30 on 97.1 The Ticket.
All righty, welcome back to the show. I'm out there giving I was just giving your husband a hard time. No big deal. We've got some calls to get to, but we want to hear from you. 248-539-9797. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding.
You did like a hair tossle with the cord. It was like,
I did not do a hair tossle.
In the front corner of my eye, looked like you were tossing your luscious locks over there.
I do not have that going on, but thank you. Hey, let's go out to Katie in Harrison Township. Good morning, Katie. Welcome to our show.
Good morning.
How are you? You got a couple questions for Michelle. This is good. Go ahead.
Yes, I do, Michelle. I'm new in the industry, and I'm, frankly, struggling a little bit. I'm not getting a whole lot of help from my broker, and I'm just curious about the XP concept itself, I guess. I can't really wrap my head around what the difference is or what it is they're offering.
Yeah. Thank you, Katie, for asking that question. There is quite a lot of education and training with the EXP model. It's a cloud-based company, so everything that you can really go online. And online, there are daily classes, there are pre-recorded classes, there are live tutorial classes, and these are taught by top agents in the area. You guys have probably already heard there's several top agents that have converted over from their current brokerages to EXP. And they did it because if you're a top agent, you're familiar with coaching. Mm-hmm. You're committed to education and training,
right?
And to personal growth. And it sounds like, Katie, because you're asking this question, you're a person who wants that as well.
Exactly. And I guess I'm seeing several top agents and seeing the lure, but I'm not grasping what's the difference? What's the big deal?
Michelle, what if even we hooked Katie up with you where you can call her after the show and maybe even spend a day? I actually had some people on here and a guy who ran an office, a big office here in Michigan. I won't say which office it was. And I asked him if I could shadow him. He was like wide open. I haven't done it yet, but I said, hey, I want to know what you do each and every day. Yeah. Is this something that, like, if you were interviewing, you wanted to hire a new agent like Katie or somebody's looking for, this more education, maybe a little more hands-on to figure out her path?
Definitely.
Yeah, maybe you guys could meet up. Maybe we'll hook you guys up after the show. How's that, Katie?
That sounds great.
Good.
Right.
Yeah, it's something. EXP is definitely something to be excited about, and Michelle knows her stuff. She's putting up big numbers year after year, and that says something. So definitely you can take away something from it, and hopefully you guys can connect, and it makes sense for her.
Yeah, that sounds
and for you,
very interesting to me.
Okay.
Thanks for the call. We appreciate that.
We'll call you later.
Okay,
all right.
Great.
248-539-9797. Getting your mortgage really approved. I always write that down. Really approved? What do you mean really, really approved?
I approve you for $1 million.
Yeah. So I've had a handful of them recently, clients, and I would say just really in the last, it always pops up. And in the last few weeks, I had a couple clients, and they said, "No, well, Harvey, I was referred to you, and I already have an approval." I said, "Well, let me work on getting you one." And I said, "Well, here's what you're going to need to get me, to get a real approval letter." And they said, "Well, I don't need to do that. I've already got a piece of paper." So I asked the clients, "Well, have you submitted your documentation to support this and had these conversations? Were any of these questions asked?" And the answer is always no. They're not really approved. And Michelle, we're seeing that again back. Sometimes newer agents, they don't want to ask the tough question to a client. And at the end of the day, if someone calls us up and they already are approved, what's the difference if we give them? In fact, it really helps you to say, hey, you know what, Michelle, they're all set. Thanks for referring them over to us. They gave us a call. They were checking it out. But at the end of the day, they're all set with who they're working with, and they truly are approved. I like that, and that'll give them more confidence in you as you move forward.
Yeah. I mean, it can't hurt to get a second opinion. And the two of you can speak best about this, but then there's always and to comparison shop. I mean, you're an advised consumer when you do that, to get a second opinion. And it gives the listing agent much more confidence when you're showing up that, look, I've got approvals from two different companies.
Right.
I haven't quite decided which path I'm going to go yet, but I'm exploring my options. I'm a smart, advised consumer. And the concern is people always say, it's going to ruin my credit. No.
Not at all.
No.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. We talk about credit here again. You can run as many mortgage banking credit reports as you want. I know it's within a 30-day period.
Yeah, within 30 days. It's totally different. That's like Harvey was saying, we get calls, well, I don't want to ding on my credit. I'm not ready for you to look at my credit. There's a difference between a mortgage inquiry and I'm going to Home Depot, I'm going to Lowe's, I'm going to Victoria's Secret, and I want that 0% credit card. Those are totally different inquiries and totally different effects on your credit, because student loans, cars, and I believe and mortgages are something that is they realize that a consumer is going to shop sometimes for the best rate. So they're not going to have it's not going to have that negative impact where your score is going to drop 100 points. If your score dropped 100 points after we look at your credit, it's not because we looked at your credit. It's going to be because of something else that you did prior, that maybe there was a credit card balance just happened to be a little bit higher at that time, something like that. It's not going to be just because of the inquiry, for sure.
I'm glad you brought this credit score up. 600 or more. We do mortgages at Capital Mortgage. 600, as low as 600. But when you come to us and you have that 600 credit score, we immediately show you what you can do to improve your credit score.
Correct.
So as you're working with these people out there, we have so many families, and I'll run a credit report, conventional loan, and They're shopping their credit score, Becky, somehow at 739. We see these 739 credit scores, or 759, where if they could just get one more point, it might give them a little bit better closing costs, perhaps. So, again, there's a lot of things families can do to put themselves in a little bit better position, maybe a little bit lower mortgage insurance, maybe even having a higher credit score ultimately will help them get a lower insurance rate with their car insurance or their homeowner's insurance.
Yeah, and here's another thing quickly, too, is what you're saying about the credit scores and getting pre-approved. So we have someone can get pre-approved. A credit report is good for 120 days. Generally, that's what your pre-approval is good for, right? Well, after that credit report expires, you have to pull another one. And now your scores are dropped. So now you had where I could qualify for X. Now we're kind of going backwards. So getting in contact with us, and we're going to tell you specifically what you need to do to get the most points instead of going all willy-nilly. And maybe if I pay this off, if I pay this off, we're going to tell you you're going to pay $10 on this card, $100 on this card, get us updated statements, and you're going to get 50 points.
There you go. Asking questions again, aren't you?
Yes.
Getting right in their business.
Asking questions. What did you do and how can we fix it?
Yeah. As a consumer, you don't want to ask the loan officer, why are you asking me this question? There's usually a reason why, but go ahead and ask that question too. Why not?
That's right.
248-539-9797. You want to sneak something in here? We only got a few minutes left. Michelle, you got any great listings right now? What do you got cooking right now that you want to talk about?
The great stuff I have is selling, Harvey. Yeah, I mean,
Snaps.
I've got...
That's a great listing agent.
If you want to be on the water, we've got great stuff downriver. You can be, come on, riverfront. Who doesn't want to be on the river?
You get the best of both worlds.
Who doesn't want to park their boat in front of their house or their condo? I mean, there's some great properties there. If you're looking for new construction at a premium value, Brownstown, Huron Township, Flat Rock, these areas are just going gangbusters with build out. Yeah. And it's going to be a far more reasonable price point than you would have imagined if you would go north or even if you go west.
Right.
And if it's still not good enough price, we're going to put you even further south into northern Monroe County.
And then take advantage of lower taxes. You can buy more house.
Lower taxes will up your budget and you'll be so happy with what you walk away with.
We're seeing building in Carlton and Monroe and the Frenchtown areas north of there. Calhoun, London Township. I know I just got one the other day.
West, they can't build them fast enough, honestly, because it's like if they're not finding what they're wanting in the pre-existing homes, let's build.
Yeah. And don't be afraid of new construction. Like there's some good stuff to be had with new construction.
Yeah, I do see like some people get, a little bit turned off, like, well, it settles and, they're putting them up too fast, but it's really not like that. The quality house and, what they're putting up and the time that they're taking to do it, it's fantastic. The work is great.
And they have to guarantee the work for 1 year with new construction. So, I mean, what more could you ask for, really?
Yeah.
That's why you seek help from the mortgage and real estate professionals. We have the knowledge. We're going to point you. Don't go out all willy-nilly and feel like you're going to be afraid about something. Just talk to us. We'll point you in the right direction. But ultimately, you are the end decision maker.
Yeah, I still like the idea that if you're thinking about new construction, deal with capital mortgage funding, deal with a lender other than who the builder's dealing with. I like that separation of church and state a little bit there on that one.
For sure. Capital mortgage funding.
Why not? But then again, look out for different things. I'm glad we mentioned new construction. Is find out who is paying the transfer tax. They usually break all these things down with the sales meeting. Understand what transfer tax is. If the builder wants you to pay their side of the title insurance, understand the different ins and outs and things that the builders may cover. And again, always talk about time frame, what happens if the house isn't done at a completion date. Again, there's a lot involved in timing and stuff like that. Always nice if you have a mom or a dad or a relative you can move into their house in case that new construction isn't done yet.
Yeah. Actually, my cousin actually did that where they lived in Allen Park. They didn't want to have to do with the back and forth, so they sold the house, got that done, had to move to an apartment, and then moved right into their house when it was done. It was perfect, actually.
All right, call Capital Mortgage Fund. The music says we're at our end here. Remember, we got that new Mishta program starting October 8th. We'll talk a little bit more about it next week. Great opportunities out there. Michelle Sayward, final thoughts, and what else you got to say?
I mean, final thoughts. This was really fun. This is exciting to be here. It's a great time to make a move, even if you're thinking of selling. Plenty of buyers out there right now. So don't let this fall season scare you into wait until spring.
All righty, check her out. Michelle Sayward, eXp Realty, or be sure to call Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We got Pat Caputo coming up with sports and social commentary. For Becky Alley, I'm Harvey Freed.
Hey, see ya.
We will see you next Saturday.